This is not a sponsored video. I just decided to hold up a random prop just to get your attention. 5 things they don't tell you about pregnancy as a late bloomer. Number 1, you are part of a growing club. Women all over the developed world are waiting more and more to have children. So if you decide to have a child in your 30s or 40s as opposed to your 20s, you are part of a growing club. By the way, I'm Mary. I became a first-time mum at 41. So I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about this topic. Hopefully this video will prepare you or prepare someone that's close to you for pregnancy in your 30s or 40s. Do stay to the end of the video because number 5 is honestly the most unexpected thing that ever happened to me in my pregnancy that nobody warned me about. Number 2, you may well feel the most vulnerable that you've ever felt in your life. A lot of women in the modern world, when you get into like your 30s and 40s, you've set your life up a particular way. But pregnancy brings on a whole host of emotions, a whole host of changes in your body. And I feel like when you're earlier, sort of in your 20s, you kind of roll with it a bit more, especially if you are a woman like myself who already had somewhat of an established career. You've got your job, you've possibly got property, you've got some savings, you've got some things in your life together, had kind of things mapped out and planned out a particular way. Pregnancy made me feel very vulnerable. Point number 3, you are going to need a support system. In the Western world, especially, I would say, having experienced the UK and the US, the United States in particular has a very strong culture of you need to do it yourself, get yourself up, get yourself going, build your career, get your money. You can do it all by yourself. And you can. But listen, pregnancy is a whole different ride. This is by no means disrespecting women that did it all by themselves. But I'm going to be honest, I really don't believe that as women we were really meant to do it by ourselves. Looking at very, very old civilizations, women on the whole were always parenting in groups, supporting each other in groups. And I know that this is not exactly how our modern world is set up, but I don't believe that we are meant to just parent on our own with no support. Whether it's a husband, a partner, family, friends, aunts, cousins, anybody that you can get help from, accept the help. It's very easy to underestimate how much care a newborn needs and how much care you will need when a newborn shows up. But both of you are going to need very special love, care, TLC, and to get as much rest as you possibly can. So the help and support of your community, of your tribe is absolutely crucial. And if you're not able to get that support from your tribe, your family, your friends, absolutely pay for that support.
You can recreate a community if you have resources.
A doula, a nanny, any kind of extra help or assistance you can get, absolutely take it. Number 4, you are going to face medical pressure to have some sort of intervention. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I am not a medical professional and this is not medical advice, but let me just say this, you're going to face pressure. I'm more than aware that having a baby at an age that's a little bit older than previously thought, in your 30s or 40s, it does come with some increased risks. However, I think it's very important to tune into your body, listen to the advice that you're given, but also make sure that you're not being pressured into something that you're just not ready for. Medical professionals and the medical industry, if that's what you want to call it, are primed to cover themselves legally if anything goes wrong. So a lot of the times what that leads to is fear mongering. Are you sure you don't want to induce early? You know, you can induce early. The automatic response is to go to some kind of intervention as opposed to just letting your body do what it does. If you want me to talk about this more, I have stories, okay? I have stories. In my personal case, my blood pressure was normal. My urine samples were normal. Every single test that they did on me was normal. Apart from one scan where they said that my baby's belly was a bit big. But I knew the reason why his belly looked a bit big in the scan. And I'll explain in another story if that's what you want. Just comment below. Essentially, all of the signs were that my pregnancy was going well and that I was fine. But yet and still, they really, really wanted me to induce early. And I just kept saying, well, let's wait until 40 weeks. Let's wait until 40 weeks. Do you want to induce early? Let's wait until 40 weeks. And guess when my son was born? 40 weeks, right on the dot. I am not saying don't listen to medical professionals, but what I am saying is listen to your body and your good common sense. Number 5, If you have been through any kind of trauma as a child or as a young person, when you are pregnant, you are more likely to relive it over again. I didn't know this, but it happened to me in time in my pregnancy where I feel like my protective instinct kicked in, which is a very natural thing to happen during your pregnancy. It was getting kind of closer to the time that he was going to be born. I'm going to say 5, 6, 7, 8 months, in that kind of time window. And I started thinking about when he's born, the feelings that I had about keeping my baby safe. What that led on to was me picturing myself as a baby, as a very young child, thinking about the ways that I felt unprotected. That kicked into, if that situation ever happened with me and my child, I would never allow that to happen, or I would never not speak up in defense of my child. You start to go, if I feel like this about my baby and I feel so protective over my baby, then why was I not protected? I definitely had significant low mood during my pregnancy. After my son was born, I had an appointment with a psychiatrist and I spoke to him about a lot of my life experiences and how I felt during my pregnancy. He said to me, what you're describing about reliving certain painful moments in your life, that's very normal to happen during pregnancy. I was shocked. I did not know that this was a common experience. Honestly, I thought that it was just me, not to realize actually it's quite common for this to happen. It can bring on mental health problems like depression during your pregnancy, and combined with all of the hormones and the changes in your body, it makes it that much more important to look after yourself and to make sure that you surround yourself with supportive and positive people who will always look out for your well-being, and to notice if you're not feeling great or you're just not quite feeling yourself. Those are great people to have around during your pregnancy. And here's another video you can watch if you liked this one. Bye.